On this episode, perseverance. Hey everybody, this is the Quarter Show. We're going to be talking about perseverance. So, perseverance, having the ability to see something through. It's this X factor. It's this X factor in selling, in business, in being an entrepreneur. And it will take you so far because you have to be able to weather any storm, number one, be able to get through good market, down market. I'm going to be talking about another show. We were talking about this. We were talking about recessions and different things like that and markets that are coming up. And I want to talk about this, but perseverance plays a major role. You have to be able to persevere. And look, prospects are going to tell you, they're going to tell you, oh, maybe you're being pushy, or oh, we're not ready, or oh, next week, or next month, or second quarter, or whatever. And I'll tell you what, if you can't persevere, you will not get it done at all, right? You have to be able to persevere at such a level that others won't, because most people, you can put stock in the fact that most people will give up. Most salespeople will give up, right? They follow up a couple times, 2-3 times or whatever. They run out of juice. They don't know what to say. They run out of assets. They run out of just push through, right? They run out of motivation and they just won't persevere. But the way to win deals and the way to get things done is you've got to persevere. You have to get through all the barriers, all the rocky terrain, all the barriers, all the hoops that you have to jump through in order to get it done. And this is true of entrepreneurs. This is true of anybody in any role in a company. It's especially true in sales, but any role, right? Perseverance will win the day. And the truth is that you don't always have to be the greatest in the world at your thing. It's a plus point. Be an ultra A player, triple A player, whatever. It's a plus point, but it's actually not enough, because even the best talent, look, if they don't persevere and the other person does persevere, perseverance is going to beat talent, and
there's a lot of things you could say about this. The thing is, there's so many different aspects to perseverance. Just the other day, a client, Robert and I talked to the CEO and my contact in a company, and now we're talking about a very large project that's going to be amazing for them. And they've signed off 2 different earlier projects with me. And I look back because I have a new fellow that I'm bringing on board on sales, and he's doing fantastic. And he's talking about, he wants to get a deal done and he wants to get this thing done. And yes, do get it done. But I gave him a little sense sometimes of what it can take to get a deal done. And it's not, Rob mentioned, you don't have to be the best at sales or whatever, and I'm not. I have perseverance on my side as a huge plus, and positive emotion on my side as well. But, I contact this person beginning of January, and we set appointments, and I sign an NDA and all these forms and all this stuff, and I continue on, and she goes on vacation and doesn't tell me, and that's okay, it's not her job to tell me she's on vacation. But I continue to call, email, new idea, go. And then 2 months later, she signs up for the first project, and then the project finishes, and we follow up, and another project, and then follow up, and then now we're here at okay, now we're getting to the full solution of Richter and what we're going to do. It takes nonstop, and it's not like if you forget something for a little bit, and then oh shoot, I forgot to follow up, that you've somehow not persevered. It's that you don't get it in your head to stop at any point.
Yeah, you have to take it all the way through. And the truth is, you can't just also, some people, I've been sold by companies before, and I'm thinking about one right now where it was like they sold me, you sign up, and you basically don't hear from them. There's no real follow through. There's no delivery. There's no hand the baton off. And perseverance follows all the way through, not just selling, but taking it all the way through the cycle and following the cycle, and then driving your re-sign. I don't know how your line works, but thinking about re-signs or keeping the client on board or whatever. It follows all the way through. For us here at Richter, we have like 70-80% re-sign rate. I don't say that to toot our horn. I say that because it's from it's from perseverance from the sales team following up and seeing it through, and then being connected and re-signing them for more. Doing great work, of course, in production, in creative, doing great work strategies wise. That obviously keeps clients. That plays a major role. So our production team is obviously responsible for that as well. But our sales team perseveres all the way through. But when you're in the sales trenches, perseverance is so important, because I see sometimes less experienced salespeople, or sometimes salespeople run into trouble, and they sort of get deflated. Problems or barriers come up, and they kind of buy into it. It's like, next quarter, or hey, let's talk next week, and oh, hey, let's push this off. Oh, hey, let's delay it. Oh, hey, I have to get approval from so and so, and they're out of town, and we can't do it. And all these obstacles come up. And I was watching the movie the other night, The Martian, and I'm sure you've seen it. I watched it for the first time recently.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, but wow, what a great movie. And I think one of the takeaways for me was his ability to persevere and solve problems. Like, I love the topic of problem solving. And problem solving meant survival. Perseverance meant survival. And had he not tinkered on each barrier, each obstacle that came up to solve the problem and to persevere, he would have died. It's very simple, he would have died. And taking that sort of parallel and bringing it into the sales cycle, you think about your sales cycle dying, and you think about, you get stuck in an obstacle, some rocky terrain that you hit. They have to get approval from someone. Somebody's out of town. It's going to happen next week, and it's going to do this, or you need to get this signed, or you need to do that, or you got to change the terms, or you got to handle the negotiating, or budget, or whatever. All of these different things are all sort of like just problems, and you have to just tackle problem after problem after problem and persevere from one to the next to the next to the next to make it all the way through, to see it through and get it done. And a lot of people can't or won't. They don't persevere to solve every single problem and take it through, and instead they have the whole thing where they're like, salespeople I think do this, where they're like, oh, whatever, I'm just going to go and jump to the next cycle, and they have this whole like jumping off of a cycle.
That's a huge problem.
Jumping off the cycle, and I think salespeople are guilty of like justifying this whole thing that we do. We don't do it here at Richter.
No.
But I know of a lot of companies that do this, and they're just like, oh, if they're not closing, we just like dump it and go to the next thing. I
this
think that's
numbers
a terrible
game BS is just.
Oh my God,
exactly
I hate
that.
it. I hate it. I think that's a terrible modus operandi. I think this idea of like, oh, I just dump it and go to the next thing. And I know I'm going to get some pushback here. I know I'm sure there's people out there who are going to give me some pushback. But let me make my argument. If the prospect, look at it this way. Hear me out. Hear me out. If the prospect is right for your company,
right.
If you're right for them, okay? If your solution, your product or service is right for them, you're right for them, your company's right for them, and they're right for you. Are you doing them any favors, dumping them or whatever, or from an ethical standpoint even, is it right to just ditch them? Or should you persevere, solve every problem, and take it to 100%, right? Because if they fit the right criteria, and you know that they need your product or service, and you know that they're right for you, and you're right for them, then why not close 100%? Why not take your close ratio to 100% and persevere through every obstacle, every rocky terrain, and take it to 100%, as opposed to just dumping them? Because when you really think about it, you're just dumping them and you're leaving them behind, And I don't know.
There's no need to do that.
I don't think you should do it.
Because here's the problem. And we've talked about some of this in a previous episode. But here's part of what happens with the salesperson is they are communicating, and maybe they don't have all of the data as to what the problem is or what the stop is or the barrier. They don't have all the data, right? So this is a key datum, is repeating your value to the client and what you want to bring to the table on voicemail and email. There's the thought or belief that you have to change what you say, or that you have to like come up with something new every single time or be interesting again. Yeah. And that is not true. The thing is that when you send those emails and you leave those voicemails, they are receiving them. It's happening.
They're getting it.
The communication is happening. There's a lag that's occurring, and the lag can be long. And there's a few clients, Deanna, if you watch this, I'm not going to name the company, but Deanna, I am so pumped about our project, and I am never going to stop. because I care so much. So there's a lag that starts to occur. And what happens is we start to invent reasons why the lag is occurring. There's no reason the lag's occurring. There's no reason that matters that the lag is occurring. So the job of the salesperson is to persevere through the lag, to continue to communicate the value newly each time. If you get on the phone and you're like, "Hi Deanna, this is Ben with Richter. So still very interested, would love to help you. And I'm not doing it brand new. You can tell I'm in the loss of not having reached her before.
Totally.
I'm living in
Absolutely.
that loss.
You're living in that loss because keep in mind, Ben brings up a good point. You deliver communication, okay? You deliver communication, they don't deliver communication back. You deliver communication, they don't deliver back, right? So you hit them with a voicemail, you hit them with a text, you hit them with an email, you go to LinkedIn, you message them there, whatever, right? Every tool, anything, whatever. They're not responding. They're not communicating back. You're like, oh, they're dead. It's dark. It's not dark. It's not dark. They are getting your communication, right? We live in this crazy world, computers and things around. They're getting the text, they're getting the email, they're getting the phone. They're just not taking action. It doesn't mean what you're doing isn't working. It means that they're lagging on their action. Why? Well, a lot of things. It doesn't matter.
There's a million reasons.
You can get into another show,
Yeah.
but there's
Right.
considerations. There's things we'll tackle this in another show. But the point is, and the important thing is that you persevere and you continue your action, and you don't do what, like Ben said, you don't leave this down tone, or I don't know, low energy sort of downer.
Like you literally are repeating what was said before, like you are just saying the same thing on the circuit.
Like you're just calling. Oh, you didn't get back to me or something like this.
Look, here's my
because you're now acknowledging that they're out. You want to stay. You want to persevere, and like Ben says, repeat the message if you have to, the same as the other one, and you hit it again, or keep tinkering, or keep problem solving, and keep trying to handle whatever that item is. You keep going after it, but keep yourself enthusiastic and keep yourself energized and persevere on the cycle. And keep in mind, understand something. Blowing things up here at the desk, and we need Spencer to make some. Spencer, can you make some flames on this episode? Keep in mind that they're getting the communication. They're getting it. They're just not doing anything with it, right? And this is where the salespeople get in, where they're like, they start inventing the story. Like we went off on another episode. Because they don't get any feedback, you don't get any response back, you don't get communication back. Now you invent the story. Now you come up with why they're not doing it. And then you're just looking for reasons as a salesperson to dump it, to just ditch this person. Mm-hmm. But the right thing to do is to persevere, tinker, problem solve, go full Martian, right?
No spoilers.
And get it done. Take it to 100%. You got to go full Martian.
Never go full Martian.
So, hopefully that helps, but focus on perseverance. Never give up. Follow all the way through. As long as they're right. Look, there's a couple scenarios, and we went over one on the toxic personality, but there's only a couple real scenarios on why you give up. But look, maybe they don't buy now, maybe they buy in 6 months, maybe they buy in a year, but if they're right for you, you're right for them, the solution's right, and you can help, then it's not right to give up. You've got to persevere, and you got to take it all the way through.
Yeah, man.
Okay? More coming at you soon. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Twitter at The Quarter Show, #TheQuarter.
Comments, questions,
leave comments, send us stuff. We're going to do a little question Q&A show as well, as we get these different things, start doing those as well, and just add some more content here. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll have more coming at you soon. All right?